Well, today is the day where I've got to do my absolute best to make a real difference for an organisation which has done so much for us, and that is Very Special Kids. Today is the TV day. Well, today is my big DV day, and I don't feel nervous now. Yesterday I was getting all anxious, but today... Well, g'day, my name's Stuart Chignell, and if you're here for the first time, welcome. This is not the normal content you'll see on this channel, although it does come up, from time to time. And if you're a subscriber and you're back, good to see you again. Yeah, today we're at Very Special Kids, and they're launching a new service. And they've chosen us to be the media family. So, but before that, just as the sun's going up, I thought I'd give you a bit of a quick tour around the place, show you what VSK is, and tell you a bit more about what they've done. But before that, I need a coffee, so I'm going to fix that, and then we'll chat. So this is the entrance to VSK, front of house. But because we are a Very Special Kids family, we know about the secret entrance. And here is the secret entrance. Now you get your own code, which I can't show you. And which I can't remember. This is the entrance to the hospice, to the Very Special Kids Hospice, or VSK House. This place was an absolute lifesaver. Back in the early days of our journey, we were having, I think within the first 6 months of Eadweard being with us, it ramped up to 2, 3, 4, and I kid you not, 6 hospital admissions a week. Now that was only 1 week. In that fortnight we had 11, so it was 5 the other week. But it was just full on. I think we were averaging 3.5 hospital admissions, 3.75 hospital admissions a week for about 2 years. Yeah. I can't remember how he got through that time. I think it was because it was one thing after another, he just kept rolling. But we did need a break, and the breaks that we were getting at hospital weren't really breaks, because you've got to concentrate and deal with doctors. And it's really traumatic telling the same story and what's been happening over and over again to the latest registrar, the latest medical student, the latest new specialist. So we had friends who told us, you must get plugged into some organisations, you must get some respite, otherwise you're going to, die. But we couldn't find anyone who would take our son because he was so medically unstable, because he was such a challenging case. He freaked people out, because he was literally having life-threatening seizures. Minimum at that point, minimum every couple of days, if not more frequently. But that's what VSK is for. That's what they do. That's what this hospice is equipped to do. It's basically medical level care. But when Sarah was bringing him down for the first time, and I only found this out, yesterday when she told me this, just telling someone else this in an interview. But she said if it was going to be anything like hospital, that she was just going to pick him up and walk away, because we spent so much time in hospital that she wasn't going to have him left in another place like hospital. It is nothing like hospital. It's like you go through those doors, it's like a hotel lobby for kids. It's so warm and welcoming and not like hospital. Now this area is, I presume, where we're going to be doing the filming. This is where they have their markets and their fairs and other fundraising events and family fun day events. I've seen this full of fire engines, jumping castles, high lift stuff, face painting, animal petting zoo. It's pretty full on. The fashion, the market is pretty cool because they get some really cool stuff donated, and you can pick up some awesome bargains, and the money all goes to helping VSK. These are their pigs which they tour around the place for fundraising events. Because I have to check this out later today, but I don't think they get any government funding, which is just ridiculous. And the reason it's ridiculous, and this is the scientist, respite is absolutely crucial to helping families like ours. Like, without respite, we collapse. Look, as it is, we find it hard to keep going. But without respite, we would have shut down. Oh, God knows how long ago. So getting that break just gives us the energy, the chance to regroup and keep going. Now, let's just say it wasn't available, because none of the other institutions that are all government funding would touch him. They would not touch him. Too dangerous, too medical on his own, too risk of this, too risk of that. You know, they don't... Very Special Kids is for kids with life-threatening illnesses. So they understand that at any point, the children that are involved with them could die. And they could die in their care, or they could die in our care, or they could die in hospital, or they could die at school, or whatever. It's a fact of life. Whereas government institutions, whereas these guys, they just say, no, we just, you know, you guys, this is what we're here for, you know, because we understand. And they do understand. They don't just understand the kids, they understand the families. Because we're doing all this NDIS planning at the moment, Sarah's done a lot of these calculations and worked it all out. To replace the work that we do with Eadweard and looking after him, and if we broke and had to give him up and give him into care, then Sarah has estimated conservatively that it would be in the order of around $500,000 a year to look after him. Fact, though, is that a lot of the work that Sarah and I do is to keep him out of hospital. So if someone else was doing it, he'd be in hospital more, which means you not only have the caring bill, but you also have a massively increased hospital bill. The 1 or 2, occasionally 3 weeks that families like ours get of respite through Very Special Kids saves the government that sort of money. I'm not a logical person, I'm an emotional person. Everyone is an emotional person, whether you like it or not, whether you admit it or not. But I like logic, I like numbers, and those numbers speak to me because it just makes sense to fund organisations like this. Of course the government does. This is the garden. Now this playground is used by the kids who are in Very Special Kids House, and also the kids who are staying in the family accommodation. Now these are essentially service departments. They are just amazingly set out. And they are for families that they're for families to make it easier, especially if they have a kid in the hospice who is in palliative care, you know, the last stages. And unfortunately, with an organisation that caters for kids that have life-threatening diseases, it gets used a fair bit. And this means that parents don't have to fork up money to find accommodation in Melbourne. They can get they can get full hospital care in a non-hospital environment. It's a great environment for the siblings.
Morning, kids. Morning.
And look, it just makes a really traumatic time that much easier. Not that it's easier.
This place, aren't you?
It stops it being worse.
Yeah,
That's what it does. It stops it being worse.
Yes, and Dad.
Yes.
Mum wants you to get her a cup of tea and a kiss.
A cup of tea and a kiss. Which is more important, the tea or the kiss? Both. Right. Good answer. So the way we used to use the parents' accommodation a lot is that because we are more than 2 hours away from Melbourne, you get 7-day stint in the hospice. You get a 7-day respite stint in the hospice. But you drive down and back, that'd be 1 day gone, just in travel. and then we have to come back and pick him up, and that's a whole nother day gone in travel. So what we would often do is we'd book into the family accommodation if it was available, and we'd come down the night before, book him in the morning, take off, and then we'd come down at the end of the period, pick him up, stay the night in the parents' accommodation, and then go home the next day. And it made that made things a lot easier. But the whole point of today, the whole thing about this, the filming that's being done today and the announcement that's being done today, is a new service that means we won't need to do that, and it's going to make things that much easier.
So here it's all about to kick off, getting all ready. We had the kids all nice and pretty, ironed their clothes and everything, and within 5 minutes, less than 5 minutes, they're up a tree. Oh, Angus, Arlen's higher than you. Yeah, using your knees is not good technique, mate. So, was the food good, Annalise? Was the food good? Yeah, yummy? I think this lemon slice stuff. Yum. Alright, well that's all done. And just had a whole series of interviews and cameras and photographs and stuff. So this is what we've been here for. This is the Very Special Kids Road to Respite ambulance. And it's a collaboration between the Royal Flying Doctors, whose logo is just there, and Very Special Kids. And it's for families like us that live in regional Victoria to more easily access the hospice. It can be, like, we're only 2.5 hours away, so it's not that bad for us. But for some families, they live 4, 5, 6 hours away. And many people just don't access the hospice because this is too much trouble. This service is going to make it much more accessible. And in our family's case, with Eadweard, he can have a life-threatening seizure or vomit, which is life-threatening for him, at the drop of a hat. And so it's not just more convenient for our family, this service, it's actually safer for Eadweard. And so that is just brilliant. Just brilliant. Anyway, the filming's all done. I've been interviewed and photographed. The stories are going to be on the commercial networks and the ABC. All over the place. The kids have been great. A little bit of mischief, not too much. You helping? Yeah. Oh, good girl. A lot of work to pack up everything, isn't it? And that looks heavy. They're 5 kilos. Wow. But yeah, so I'm going to provide a whole stack of links and information in the description. And the next video we'll be back to some B stuff. So yeah, if you want to check out what we're doing, if you like what we're doing, or even if you just come along for the ride, hit the subscribe button and hit the bell notification. And I'll see you online. Catch you guys later.